Hello everyone, welcome to Behind the Mic. Today's episode is going to be a little different and honestly quite important. Recently, our voice content has been widely discussed online. Some people say that her videos promote unrealistic beauty standards in Indonesia, where fair skin and a perfect appearance are often idealized. So, today we're going to talk about what really happened behind the scenes. Okay, before we start, could you introduce yourself to our online friends?
Oh my god, first of all, thank you so much for having me on Behind the Mic. And hi everyone, Angelina Keisha is here. Some people probably know me as Angel on TikTok or Instagram. And I'm a university student and also a content creator. I started creating content when I still in high school. But at first it's just for fun. I was making a random video and then I just upload it. But recently something happened that changed the way I am seen by people online.
Right, that's exactly what we're here to talk about. Can you explain what really happened?
Well, one of my videos went viral. It was glow up videos that showed my transformation because back then I had tan skin, guys. But the video was seen as a certain standard of beauty, and I was pretty shocked about that.
Some people say that your content promotes unrealistic beauty standards in Indonesia, especially the idea that beauty means having fair skin and a perfect appearance. How do you respond to that?
Honestly, I do really understand why this became an issue because as we all know that beauty standards in Indonesia have been shaped for many years and in many ways. Like they are very limited. For example, like having a fair skin and then natural looks, like flawless makeup and then a certain body type that often seen as the ideal beauty standard. And what concerns me about these standards is actually these standards are constantly being repeated in social media, especially in Indonesia, which can make people feel like they're not enough and then they often compare themselves to others. But guys, the one thing that you should know is actually beauty is not something that is should be standardized because what makes Indonesia beautiful is actually its diversity, like the different skin tones, different facial features, and then their different stories. And all of that need to be appreciated.
Wow, that's a really powerful perspective. So, after everything that happened, what have you learned?
I've learned that being authentic is more important than being perfect because perfection is something that is often created, shaped, and then edited, filtered, but authenticity is real, guys. And I think what people are starting to realize is that honesty is more meaningful than perfection. I've also learned that self improvement is not about changing who you are to fit into a certain standards. It's about becoming a better version of yourself without losing yourself, without losing your identity. And I believe that the confidence comes from acceptance, not from looking like someone else, but from understanding who you are and embracing it.
After this controversy, what are your plans moving forward?
I want to be more mindful of what I share because I know that influence is something that should be used responsibly, especially in social media.
Right.
I also want to growing, but not as a only as a content creator, but also as a person, as an angel.
Where do you see yourself in the future?
I hope I can become someone who inspires others in a real and honest way, not just someone who looks perfect, but someone who is relatable and genuine.
Before we end, what message do you want to share with our audience friends?
I just want to say don't let social media define your worth, guys, because what you see on social media is often something that has been created, edited, but you never know what happened behind that screen. What truly matters is how you see yourself when nobody is watching. And to anyone who feels like they are not good enough, please remember this. You don't have to fit into someone else's definition of beauty to be valuable because you already enough just by being yourself.
Oh, I just realized there's actually one thing I've been wanting to ask you. Do you ever feel like people nowadays care a little too much about validation? Like, not just from social media, but also from other people's opinion, even down to how they look, how they dress, or how they present themselves online. And I don't know, sometimes it feels like people are constantly chasing that approval. Like it almost defines how they see their own words. Do you think that's something that's becoming common?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's pretty common but it's not in a judging way, you know. It's kind of like it's just the environment that we're in because everything is so visible now. Every time you post something, and within a second, you can see how people react to your content, right? Like probably it can be your Instagram stories or your TikTok videos. So I think it's possible that people start to trying their self-worth to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But do you think that's healthy?
Not really, because the thing about validation is it feels good at first, but only for a while. And it can be an addictive thing, you know, like you get the likes, you get the comments, you get the compliments and stuff. But and what, guys? You start looking for it again, and if you don't get that things, you start questioning yourself, like because I was in that position like when I got just a few likes. I start questioning myself, like, am I not that pretty? Am I not that good enough? And I think that's where it gets dangerous.
Is there anything you'd like to say to everyone who's watching, especially those who might still be struggling with how they see themselves?
Okay, and there's one thing that I want to make clear, guys. I never intended to define what beauty should look like. I mean, you can have your own definition of beauty, just like what I said, authentic is more important than perfection. The video was just a part of my journey, which is it's not a standard for anyone to follow because the truth is there's no single standard and there shouldn't be. You um, you have to be yourself. Just this is what I am. This is what I look like. And I think what happened really opened my eyes, and it made me realize that what we put out into the world can affect people in ways and we don't always expect. That comes with responsibility. So moving forward, I want to be more aware, more intentional, and more honest with the content that I share to you. Not just following the good parts, maybe, but also the real ones from me, the real ones who is Angel. And because I don't want people to look at me and feel like they have to become someone else to become uh, that definition. I want them to feel like they're allowed to be themselves. And I think real confidence comes from accepting who you are, not from trying to into something that you're not.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, and also thank you to our online friends for listening behind the mic. We hope this conversation reminds you that real beauty comes from authenticity.
Oh my god, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. See you on the next episode with me. Bye.
See you guys. Oh, guys, I forgot to add something. And this is very important. Do you know, guys, conversation like this don't just end when the camera stops rolling. They stay with you because what Angel shared today isn't just about one person or one viral moment. It reflects something much bigger. The way we see ourselves, the way we measure our worth, and how easily that can be influenced by what we constantly see online. We live in a time where everything is visible, everything is being compared, and sometimes it feels like we are expected to always be enough in the eyes of others. But maybe that's where we need to pause. Maybe being enough was never something that should be decided by other people in the first place. Because behind every post, every image, every perfect moment, there's always a story we don't see and process we don't fully understand, and maybe, just maybe, real confidence isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about learning to sit with yourself without constantly questioning your worth. So, if there's one thing to take away from today's conversation, it's this: you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to be uncertain, and you're allowed to be define your own version of who you want to be, without feeling like you have to meet someone else's expectations. Thank you for being here with us on Behind the Mic. We'll see you in the next conversation.